गुरुदेव 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 जय जय गुरुदेव।
Jai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol.
निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल।
हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। श्रील
जय
प्रभुपाद की जय।
जय
गुरु महाराज की जय।
जय
ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय।
जय
शिवगण कृष्णदास प्रभु जी की जय।
जय।
All glories to assembled devotees. Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्णा।
Thank you all devotees once again for joining our Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya daily Srimad Bhagavatam reading morning session in English. Hare Krishna. So we will start reading verse number 4. Hare Krishna. So Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Shaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudite Nashtaprayeshu Padreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Ruttama Shloke Bhaktar Bhavati Nashtagi Mukam Karoti Vachalam Mumlangyade Girim Yat Krivadamaham Mande Paramananda Madhavam Sri Gurum Dinadarinam Sri Chaitanyamishwaram Om Jnanadmirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshuru Milidam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupagadamahyam Dadadi Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Gurum Sri Udapatakamelam Sri Gurum Vaishnavamsha Sri Rupam Sakarajadam Sahana Raghunadanidam Dam Sajivam Sadvaidam Savadudam Varjan Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahana Lalada Sri Vishakanyadamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagalpati Gopesh Gopiga Kanda Radha Kanda Namastude Taptakanjana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavani Shri Vishabhanasude Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vanchakalpatarubhya Chakrapa Sandubhya Pachapatitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Nidhi Namine Namaste Saraswate Deva Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Vachatya Deshakarine Jayo Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namo Vishnu Padaya Vishnu Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhagavatam Vadali Bhagavatam Dani Guruvata Damodaya Ram Swami Guru Maharaj Ki Jai Maharaj Ki Jai Hare Krishna. Thank you all devotees once again. Hare Krishna. So, to start today, verse number 4, Canto 10, chapter 1, verse number 4. Chapter, the Advent of Lord Krishna, introduction. Hare Krishna. I think, Shonaparaji, we will go paragraph by paragraph. So,
yeah, okay, bro. Yes.
Yeah. So, some others can read also, continue reading in the same paragraph. So, I mean,
Sure.
same
Yeah.
Last long,
Okay.
but okay. Thank you,
Yeah.
Prabhuji.
Okay.
Hare Krishna. So first I will start with his number 4. Nivritta tarshair rubagiyamanat bhavaushadhasrotramano abhiramat ka uttama shloka gunanuvadat puman virajyeda vina pashugnath nivrittadarshayir rupa giyamanat bhavaushadasrotra mano abhiramat ka uttama shloka gunanuvadat puman virajyeda vina pashugnath. Hare Krishna. Translation purported by His Divine Grace Abhayacharanaravindra Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Translation. Glorification of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is performed in the Parampara system. That is, it is conveyed from the spiritual master to disciple. Such glorification is relished by those no longer interested in the false temporary glorification of this cosmic manifestation. Descriptions of the Lord are the right medicine for the conditioned soul undergoing repeated birth and death. Therefore, who will cease hearing such glorification of the Lord except a butcher or one who is killing his own self? Translation once more. Glorification of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is performed in the Parampara system. That is, it is conveyed from the spiritual master to disciple. Such glorification is relished by those no longer interested in the false temporary glorification of this cosmic manifestation. Descriptions of the Lord are the right medicine for the conditioned soul undergoing repeated birth and death. Therefore, who will cease hearing such glorification of the Lord except a butcher or one who is killing his own self? Purport. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. In India,
Prabhu, तुम answer वाला प्रभु. This already read, right?
രണ്ട് paragraph വായിച്ച Prabhuji, but we are
Okay,
continuing.
okay. Okay.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you. Purport. In India, it is the practice among the general populace to hear about Krishna, either from Bhagavad Gita or from Srimad Bhagavatam, in order to gain relief from the disease of repeated birth and death. Although India is now fallen, when there is a message that someone will speak about Bhagavad Gita or Srimad Bhagavatam, thousands of people still gather to hear. This verse indicates, however, that such recitation of Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam must be done by persons completely freed from material desire. Nivritta Tarshaiha. Everyone within this material world, beginning from Brahma down to the insignificant ant, is full of material desires for sense enjoyment, and everyone is busy in sense gratification. But when thus engaged, one cannot fully understand the value of Kṛṣṇa Gatha, either in the form of Bhagavad Gita or in Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay, Prabhuji, we continue by small paragraph, or I want to read one more paragraph.
Yes, Prabhu. You can, if you want, it can pause it. Okay, otherwise, Mataji says devotees want to read. And they can proceed.
Okay.
So you want to explain by paragraph, or we will finish the complete
paragraph by paragraph.
reading and then
now
better, no, Prabhu?
And the first paragraph.
Yeah. Hello. So we'll go by paragraph, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna, thank you,
My humble pranams to all assembled Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis. So we are entering into the most important climax of Srimad Bhagavatam.
Yes.
After reading 9 cantos for such a long period of time, Krishna is mercifully revealing himself through the 10th canto. So here we have entered the advent of Lord Krishna, because the whole Bhagavatam is centered around Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So he is appearing on this planet Earth. Here we can see that Parikshit Maharaj is eager to hear about Lord Krishna. So he is asking questions. So from verse number 1 to 16, we can see King Parikshit Maharaj eagerness to hear and his questions about Krishna. So he is very much, that interest is very much important in spiritual life. Without interest, we cannot progress in Krishna consciousness. With the Utsaha, Nischaya, Dhairya, Srila Rupa Goswami says in Nectar of Instruction, Utsaha means enthusiasm. 6 things which are very favorable for progressing in Krishna consciousness. Utsaha, Nischaya, Dhairya, So, Utsaha means enthusiasm or interest, we can say. Without interest, very difficult to progress in Krishna consciousness. So here we can see Parishit Maharaj is exhibiting that interest to know about more about the Lord. So verse number 1 to 16 is his eagerness or interest in knowing about Krishna. So this verse is actually discussing about how the glorification of the Supreme Personality Godhead, how it is performed in the Parampara system. Machita Madgata Prana Bodayantascha Parasparam. Krishna says in Bhagavatam, Katayantascha Mam Nityam Tushyanti cha Ramanti cha. So who can relish the activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead? Only the devotees. And the devotees are already connected to the Parampara system. To a common person, maybe he may not relish, he may attend, but he may not relish like a devotees are relishing the activities of the Lord. So how this Parampara system is working, we all know this, the four Vaishnava Sampradayas are there. We are coming from Brahma, Madhva, Gaudiya Sampradaya. It is conveyed from the spiritual master to his disciple. Like Srila Prabhupada, his life transformed because he heard Krishna Katha from his spiritual master, his Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj. Before that hearing, Prabhupada was not very much interested with sadhus because he has seen so many sadhus in his home. He was not very much inclined, but when he heard from the Parampara, from his Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj, Prabhupada, he automatically the attachment and eagerness kindled. So, such glorification is released by those who are no longer interested in false temporary glorification of this cosmic manifestation. So, those who are too much attached to this material world or to the things in this material world, they will not very much relish because they are already attracted to other side. So, they say, no, that like two knives cannot be in one cover, like two knives. There can be only one knife in one cover. So, if our mind is very much attracted towards material things, then naturally we will not be much interested or inclined to hear spiritual things. And those who are very much interested to hear spiritual things, automatically their interest in the material things will go down. So Prabhupada says how we can understand that we are developing in our devotional service. Our own test is that how much taste is there, we are increased towards spiritual things, and how much taste is decreased towards material things. So these are inversely proportional. If one will rise, other will decrease. So we can evaluate ourselves how far we have come in the Krishna consciousness. If we still have inclination towards material things, then we should put more efforts to hear more so that our attachment will decrease. So descriptions of the Lord are the right medicine for the conditioned souls undergoing repeated cycle of birth and death. So yesterday we discussed class on material problems and spiritual solutions. There was a slide highlighting that the summary of the scriptures, essence of all the scriptures is the enjoying propensity is the deadly disease for the conditioned soul, and service to the Lord is a perfect medicine. So when we highlighted, then Ananta Mukopal Prabhu shared this verse. The same is actually here, that our disease is to enjoy this material world. The enjoying propensity, whether we enjoy or not, that is different. But we have the strong desire to enjoy. Prabhupada writes in the first purport itself, same thing. How everybody is trying from Brahma to the ant in the material world. Everybody wants to enjoy. So here it is written that the descriptions of the Lord are the right medicine for the conditioned soul undergoing repeated birth and death. So we have the medicine here. So on the form of Srimad Bhagavatam, we can constantly hear and purify our disease state. Therefore, who will cease hearing such glorification of the Lord? Who will know? Now we know this is the medicine. If you are suffering from a disease and the doctor is giving you a medicine, who will throw the medicine? No, let me suffer. I will throw the medicine in the dustbin. No. On the right time, you are taking the medicine 3 times a day, 2 times a day, because we want to get cured. So therefore, here it is said that Parishit Maharaj is saying, therefore, who will cease hearing such glorification of the Lord? Except, some people, they don't care, except a butcher. Very harshly, they said that butcher, for one who is killing his own self, butcher job is not a good job because, he has to kill the animals. The animals are crying. Animals are trying to run away. But the butcher has to mercilessly kill. Sometimes butcher job is so difficult that the butcher, after 5 years or 10 years, they go mentally, they get affected also. because continuously they are seeing that. Not everybody, even if you get a good pay, not everybody can do this job. So butcher or one who is killing his own self, like people are attempting for suicide, they are missing their valuable human life. So like that, somebody who is not willing to hear the glorification of the Lord is compared except a butcher or one who is killing his own self. So we can see the importance of hearing the glories of the Lord. It purifies us. Shnuatam Swakata Kṛṣṇa Punya Sharavana Kirtana. It is auspicious. It is auspicious to hear. Punya Sharavana Kirtana. Hridayantosya Bhadrani Vidnoti Sursatam. So whatever we saw yesterday also in the class, that how the anarthas are there for us, Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. It is there for everybody. Even for the sadhaka devotee, it is there. It is not that we are free. But by hearing repeatedly about Krishna, Leela, Krishna Nam, and Krishna Instravani, then slowly, Hridayantosya Abhadrani, the Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya, lust, anger, envy, greed, pride, and delusion, slowly got eradicated, diminished, and destroyed. So that is the potency of hearing about Krishna. Not only hearing about Krishna Lila or even Krishna Nam, Krishna Vani, associating with devotees, everything has the same impact. So here Prabhupada, right, in the purport, we know that in India we have this culture of this Bhagavat Saptaha, Ramayana, Mahabharata in the village. In the earlier days, many of us might have experienced already. If you go, not in the city, much city they do in some halls, but in the village they do in the temple. At our nearby temple, yearly 1 time, 2 time, they come 7 days, 8 days, 10 days, they narrate Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Katha, they say, or Mahabharata, Ramayana. So that is already in practice. Why this is being cultivated, this practice is to gain relief from the disease of repeated birth and death. Because it is very clearly said in this verse itself, those who are hearing about Krishna, it's a perfect medicine for their cure from repeated disease of birth and death. Now, India, we know everybody is racing for the economic development with other countries, because other countries are so much focused on economic development. India has also to cope up with that economic development. Otherwise, there is a lot of issues. So India slowly is now catching with the Western world. So Prabhupada writes, India is now fallen. But still, even though it is fallen now, but still when there is a message that someone will speak about Bhagavad Gita or Srimad Bhagavatam, thousands of people still gather to hear. You can see that, when there is a Saptaha advertisement is given, a lot of people turn up, especially people who are in Sattvic nature, they all come. This verse indicates, however, that such recitation of Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam must be done completely freed from material desires. Here, Prabhupada is giving a note of caution that, of course, when people are reciting this Saptaha, sometimes people are charging money. That that kind of commercial recitation may not have that much impact on the people. It should be done as a seva bhav. And that person who is reciting also should be free from material desires, should be Goswami. Then there is an impact. When you are pure, then there's Prabhupada preaching. Purity is the force. Books are the basis. All Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam. Books are the foundation for us. Books are the basis. Preaching is the essence. We have to preach this message to others. Purity is the force. So unless a person is not pure, nivritta tarshai, freed from material desires, then the effect will be very insignificant. So everyone here, it is said, everyone within this material world, starting from Satya Loka to Patala Loka, beginning from Brahma down to the insignificant ant, it is full of material desires for sense enjoyment. We can see around us people, everybody is hankering for sense enjoyment. Even if we get some free time, our mind will immediately plan what kind of enjoyment I can have now. This is everything. This is the nature of this material world. From Brahma down to the insignificant ant. It is not only human beings who are actually hankering for sense enjoyment. Even it starts from the demigods also. Starting from Brahma, not only humans, even to the animal platform also. You can see cats are playing, dogs are playing. Everybody want to enjoy material desire for sense enjoyment. And everyone is busy in sense gratification. So when we are in this kind of illusion, busy with the sense enjoyment, one cannot fully understand the value of Krishna Katha. So it is like Prabhupada says the Krishna's holy name is very sweet, but people who are affected by jaundice, for them it is bitter. Sugar candy is also bitter. But however, we should continuously take the sugar candy so that the same sugar candy will treat the disease and it will cure and make us healthy. So maybe we are inclined to hear Krishna Katha or may not. Still, we need to hear Krishna Katha because gradually the potency of Krishna Katha is so much that it will purify your heart and eventually we will get the taste to hear more about Sri Krishna in the form of Bhagavad Gita or in Srimad Bhagavatam. Hare Krishna. So, if you want to add any points, devotees, please feel free to add. If not, we can go to the
next paragraph. Somebody can read. Second paragraph. Somebody reading.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Mataji, somebody else wanted to read. Gita Mataji, please continue. I'll
read, Mataji. Read.
Okay.
You will read the next paragraph.
Okay. Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. If we hear the glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead from liberated persons, this hearing will certainly free us from the bondage of material activities. But hearing Srimad Bhagavatam spoken by a professional reciter cannot actually help us achieve liberation. Krishna Katha is very simple. In Bhagavad Gita, it is said that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As he himself explains, Matta Paradaram Nyanyat Kinjit Astin Dhananjaya. O Arjuna, there is no truth superior to me. Bhagavad Gita 7.7. Simply by understanding this fact that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one can become a liberated person. But especially in this age, because people are interested in hearing Bhagavad Gita from unscrupulous person who depart from the simple presentation of Bhagavad Gita and distort it for their personal satisfaction, they fail to derive the real benefit. They are big scholars, politicians, philosophers, and scientists who speak on Bhagavad Gita in their own polluted way. And people in general hear from them. Being uninterested is in hearing the glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead from a devotee. A devotee is one who has no other motive for reciting Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam than to serve the Lord. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has therefore advised us to hear the glories of the Lord from a realized person. Bhagavata paro diya Bhagavata stanai. Unless one is personally a realized soul in the science of Krishna consciousness, a neophyte should not approach him to hear about the Lord. For this is strictly forbidden by Srila Sanatana Goswami, who quoted from the Padma Purana, Aveshnava Mukho Girnam Putam Hari Katamritam Shravanam Naiva Kartavyam Sarpochishtam Yatapayaha. One should avoid hearing from a person not situated in Vaishnava behavior. A Vaishnava is Nivritta Trishna. That is, he has no material purpose. For his only purpose is to preach Krishna consciousness. So-called scholars, philosophers, and politicians exploit the importance of Bhagavad Gita by distorting its meaning for their own purposes. Therefore, this verse warns that Krishna Katha should be recited by a person who is Nivritta Trishna. Shukadeva Goswami epitomizes the proper reciter for Srimad Bhagavatam, and Parishit Maharaj, who purposefully left his kingdom and family prior to meeting death, epitomizes the person fit to hear it. A qualified reciter of Srimad Bhagavatam gives the right medicine, bhavaushati, for the conditioned souls. The Krishna consciousness movement is therefore trying to train qualified preachers to recite Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita throughout the entire world, so that people in general in all parts of the world may take advantage of this movement and thus be relieved of the threefold miseries of material existence. Thank you, Prajis. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Wonderful purport.
Very, very wonderful purport by Srila
Yes,
Prabhupada here.
Hari Hari.
Yeah. So here we already discussed now. Here, the second paragraph. If we hear the glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead from liberated person, what will be the effect? That hearing will be certainly free us from the bondage of material activities. So basically, we should hear people who are liberated means who are actually on the transcendental platform or as a pure devotees when we are hearing. So that will be the effect. It will free us from the bondage of material activities. Like Srila Prabhupada, he spoke Srimad Bhagavatam. You see how many people he transformed into the disciples, into the devotees of Krishna. Before that, there were many Swamijis who went to Western world to preach Bhagavad Gita. But Prabhupada says not even one person became a devotee of Krishna because they did not preach about actually the who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But if you see, Prabhupada writes here, Krishna Katha is very simple. In Bhagavad Gita, it is said that, see, this is a very important point. Krishna Katha is very simple. It's not complex. In Bhagavad Gita, it is said that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As he himself explains, Matta Parataram Nanat Kinchidasti Dhananjaya. Oh Arjuna, there is no truth superior to me. Bhagavad Gita 7.7. Simply by understanding this fact that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one can become a liberated person. It's a very important statement. Just by understanding this fact that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one can become a liberated person. In this connection, actually, Srila Prabhupada, one time he was in Vrindavan, and there was Mataji, Malati Mataji. She had a daughter, Saraswati. And so Prabhupada was actually, there were a lot of scholars there. This is a true incident. And Prabhupada asked, like, can you describe about the supreme absolute truth? So those people who are assembled, they were telling, well, Swamiji, it's very difficult to explain by words. It is very complicated topic and it is difficult to explain. And also person who is hearing also difficult to understand because the supreme absolute truth is beyond our this thing. It is infinite. Then Prabhupada, that Saraswati, that little daughter, she was playing, Saraswati. Prabhupada called her and told Saraswati, you know who is the supreme absolute truth? Then with instant she told, Krishna is the supreme personality of God. She is absolute truth, like that. Then Prabhupada laughed. He told, see, this small daughter, small girl, she is able to know the supreme absolute truth, whereas the scholars are pandits. The so-called scholars are pandits. They are saying it's difficult to explain and difficult to see. Very simple. Krishna is saying, Matta Paradaram Nanit Kinchi Jasti Tananjaya. Saying there is no truth superior to me. So if we accept and if we understand that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of God, we are all looking for God. Everybody is looking, whether we are a Christian or Muslim or Hindu, we are all looking for God. And everybody has their own opinion about God. Somebody say God is light. Somebody say God is nature. Somebody say God is empty space. Somebody says God is, we are actually God. But here, very clearly, if you say Bhagavad Gita, we are looking for God and God himself is saying that I am God. If we just accept it, all the problem is solved. But if you don't accept it, then we will land into confusion. But especially Prabhupada in this age, because people are interested in hearing Bhagavad Gita, what happens? The problem is people are interested in hearing Bhagavad Gita. Everybody, Bhagavad Gita has a very high reputation all around the world, not only in our Bharatvarsha, everywhere. But so whenever we advertise Bhagavad Gita, people are ready to come. But if you are hearing from unscrupulous persons who will distort the meaning of Bhagavad Gita for their personal satisfaction, then we will fail to derive the real benefit. So this is what happening. People take Bhagavad Gita class, but they never talk about Krishna there. Because the central theme of Bhagavad Gita is Krishna. Sarva dharman parityaja mam ekam sharanam bhaja. Krishna is very clearly declaring, surrender to me. Manmana bhava madbhakto. Become my devotee. So many verses are there. Matta parataram jnanit kinchit asti dhanam. Aham adiri devanam maharshinam cha sarvasha. All the demigods are coming from me. I am the source of all demigods and all the rishis and munis. So now it is a question of faith. If people accept that fact as it is from Bhagavad Gita, then the problem is solved. They become a liberated person. Krishna says also, Janma karma cha me divyam evam yoveti tattvataha tektva deham punarjanma naiti mameti so Arjuna. Bhagavad Gita 4.9, my janma and my karma are divyam. If you understand that in truth, evam yoveti tattvataha, then what happens? Tektva deham punarjanma naiti. Then you don't take another birth. Mameti so Arjuna. You will come back to me. So here, Prabhupada, there are big scholars politicians, philosophers, and scientists who speak on Bhagavad Gita in their own polluted way, because they don't present Krishna as the Supreme Lord. They will tell it is Brahman, it is indescribable, unimaginable, like that. So people think, oh, Bhagavad Gita is not for us. And people in general hear from them because they are famous people, they naturally hear from them. So then they are not interested in hearing the glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead from a devotee. So we are very fortunate that we came into the shelter of Srila Prabhupada, pure devotee of the Lord, and we are able to hear the Prabhupada's Vani, and so that we are able to get the full benefit. A devotee is one who has no other motive for reciting Bhagavatam and Srimad Bhagavatam than to serve the Lord. She is totally selfless. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has therefore advised us to hear the glories of the Lord from only a realized person. Bhagavato parodiya Bhagavata sthane. So unless he is a devotee of the Lord, we should not hear Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam from them. Very important, because they will distort the meaning and misguide us and take us away from Krishna consciousness. Only one person, one is personally realized soul, the science of Krishna consciousness. A neophyte should not approach him to hear about the Lord, for this is strictly prohibited by Srila Sanatana Goswami. So Sanatana Goswami quotes this very famous Prabhupada quotes in many of the lecture. Vaishnavo Mukod Grignam Putam Harikatamritam Shranam Naiva Kartavyam Sarpochistam Yatapayaha. So it is when you hear about Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam from a non-devotee or a non-Vaishnava, then it is like you are taking a milk which is touched by the snake. It is poison. And this is very important. Then it will not give the desired results. Instead of getting bhakti, you will only go divert and you will get what is a bhakti, enjoying propensity will increase. And you will not lose your spiritual life also. Here, so-called scholars and philosophers and politicians exploit the importance of Bhagavad Gita. So we know many people have Bhagavad Gita, they also give to Bhagavad Gita, but their intention is not to glorify the Lord. It is maybe for some material purpose, or they did not understand Bhagavad Gita properly. Therefore, this verse warns Krishna Katha should be recited only by a person who is Nivritta Trishna. Who is Nivritta Trishna? Who is a pure devotee of the Lord. Sukadeva Goswami is a proper reciter for Srimad Bhagavatam. And Parishit Maharaj, who was very much eager to hear about Krishna, is the right person to hear. So here there is a perfect combination. Sukadeva Goswami and then Parishit Maharaj, who purposefully left his kingdom and family prior to meeting death. Okay. So when we hear Bhagavatam like that, it becomes a right medicine. So here, this is what Prabhupada established Krishna conscious movement. Is trying to train qualified preachers. This is a training program where to train the qualified preachers to recite Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita throughout the entire world, so that people in general, in all parts of the world, will take the benefit and they'll be relieved from the threefold miseries of material existence. So yesterday also we discussed what are the threefold miseries of material existence. Anybody remembers? Threefold miseries of material existence.
Adhyatmika, Adibaudiga.
Prabhupada writes here, thus be relieved from the very well. Thank you. So when we are constantly harassed from our birth to death about these threefold miseries, always we are harassed. So if I want to be relieved, you have to take complete shelter of Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. Then we will be relieved from this blazing fire of material existence. Hare Krishna. Any points to be added in this paragraph? Otherwise, we can go to the next paragraph.
We'll continue, Prabhuji. We'll finish it, and then somebody can also. Okay.
Hare Krishna. Okay, Prabhu, we'll go to the next paragraph.
Yeah, next paragraph.
We'll continue. Yes.
Hare Krishna.
Yes.
Yes, Mataji, please.
Hare Krishna. The instructions of Bhagavad Gita and the descriptions of Srimad Bhagavatam are so pleasing that almost anyone suffering from the threefold miseries of material existence will desire to hear the glories of the Lord from these books and thus benefit on the path of liberation. Two classes of men, however, will never be interested in hearing the message of Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. Those who are determined to commit suicide and those determined to kill cows and other animals for the satisfaction of their own tongues. Although such persons may make a show of hearing Srimad Bhagavatam at a Bhagavata Saptaha, this is but another creation of the karmis who cannot derive any benefit from such a performance. The word Pashuknath is important in this connection. Pashukna means butcher. Pashukna means butcher. Persons fond of performing ritualistic ceremonies for elevation to the higher planetary systems must offer sacrifices, yajnas, by killing animals. Lord Buddhadeva therefore rejected the authority of Vedas because his mission was to stop animal sacrifices, which are recommended in Vedic ritualistic ceremonies. Nindasi yajna vidir ahaha sudi jadam sadaya hridaya darshida pashuknam pashukgatam Pashukhatam, Keshava, Dhrida, Buddha, Sharira Jaya Jagadisha Hare, Gita Govinda. Even though animal sacrifices are sanctioned in Vedic ceremonies, men who kill animals for such ceremonies are considered butchers. Butchers cannot be interested in Krishna consciousness, for they are already materially allured. Their only interest lies in developing comforts for the temporary body. Kogaishwarya Prasaktanam Tyabarta Chedasa Tayabrhada Chedasam Vyavasayatmiga Buddhi Samadhav Na Vidhiyade. In the minds of those who are too attached to sense enjoyment and material opulence and who are bewildered by such things, the resolute determination of devotional service to the Supreme Lord does not take place. Bhagavatam 2.44 Bhagavad Gita. Srila Narottama Dasa Thakura says, Manushya Janma Payya Radha Kṛṣṇa Na Bhajiya Janiya Suniya Visha Khayinu. Anyone who is not Krishna conscious and who therefore does not engage in the service of the Lord is also Pashugna, for he is willingly drinking poison. Such a person cannot be interested in Krishna Katha because he still has a desire for material sense gratification. He is not Nivritta Krishna. As it is said, Traivargigaste Purusha Vimukha Hari Metasa. Those interested in Trivarga, that is in Dharma, Artha and Kama, are religious for the sake of achieving a material position with which to gain better facilities for sense gratification. Such persons are killing themselves by willingly keeping themselves in the cycle of birth and death. They cannot be interested in Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. I think Prabhupada here also explains important instruction that those who will not hear this Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, that is mentioned here, those who will kill the cows, they will not actually get interest in hearing Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. That is mentioned here in this paragraph. Who are determined to kill the cows. So cow protection is very important foundation in the Sanatan culture. But those who are determined to kill cows, they will not appreciate or hear Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. And those who are determined to commit suicide. So these two categories of people will not. The proper refers here about how Lord Buddha appeared. He's also an avatar of Krishna, but he appeared specifically for the purpose and he rejected the Vedas. So Buddhadeva, he said Vedas are false. Why? Because in the name of Vedas, people were sacrificing the animals. So he wanted to stop the animal sacrifice. So he saw that they are using the Vedas for justification. So he said the Vedas itself is false. So that famous Gita Govinda is proposed referring here. Nindasi yajna vider ahaha shruti jatam sadaya hridaya darshita pasugatam Keshavadrita Buddha Sharira Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare. So very important to understand, Lord Buddha is also an incarnation of Krishna. Same Lord Buddha, even the incarnation of Krishna, he actually rejected the authority of Vedas because his mission, his purpose was to stop animal sacrifices. So when we are very much interested in killing the animals, then we will not be able to appreciate Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam. So that is mentioned here. So maybe people may argue that, yes, you are saying like that, but animal sacrifice are already there in the Vedic scriptures. But Prabhupada says they are actually only materially motivated. Their interest only lies in developing comforts for the temporary body. Butchers cannot be interested in Krishna consciousness. Very powerful statement. Butchers cannot be interested in Krishna consciousness. It does not mean only butchers. Butchers means those who are killing animals, and those who are supporting that, they also will not be interested in Krishna consciousness. And the second category, which is said as suicide, that is also mentioned here. Bhogeshwarya Prashaktanam Taya Partha Chetasam Vivasayatmya Buddhi Samadhavana Vidiyate. So those who are too much addicted to sense enjoyment and material affluence, Bhoga Aishwarya. Bhoga means enjoyment, Aishwarya means behind affluences. Bhoga Aishwarya Prashaktanam. Then for the Vivasayatmika Buddhi will not take place. So that is also there. Second category. That's called suicide people. People who are committing suicide means just who are only behind the sense enjoyment and affluence. So they are also committing the suicide. So Prabhupada quotes, this is one of the favorite bhajans of Srila Prabhupada. Manushya Janma Paya Radha Krishna Na Bhajiya. So Narottama Das, Srila Narottama Das Thakur Singh. So you can see this bhajan, Prabhupada quotes in many purports. Manushya Janma, after getting this human birth, I did not worship Radha Krishna Na Bhajiya. I did not worship. That means knowingly Janiya, Suniya, Vishaka. Knowingly I have drunk the poison. So that is also people who has not Krishna consciousness and does not engage in the service of the Lord is called Pasugna. He is willingly drinking poison. So they are also will not be interested in Krishna Katha because they have still desire for material enjoyment. That's why yesterday we said no two lines. That the enjoying propensity is a deadly disease and service to the Lord is the perfect medicine. So past two, this verse also we are discussing the same thing. The first paragraph itself, Prabhupada said like how from Brahma to the ant, everybody is hankering for sense gratification, sense enjoyment. And because of that sense enjoyment, we are getting diseased. And the perfect medicine is to serve the Lord or serve the devotees. She is not Nimritta Trishna. So those interested in Trivarga means Dharma, Artha, Kama. They are not interested in moksha also or for religious sake. You know, many people are going to temple in India, especially we can see people are very sincerely attempting going to the temple morning, afternoon, evening like that without fail. But we do not know the motive. It is just for religious purpose, just for Dharma, Artha, Kama. If you go to a temple, it is also actually considered as a suicide. Because for achieving material position, which is gain for sense gratification, it will not help us actually. One thing we can understand, see, then how can we get from God whatever you want in this life? Prahlad Maharaj says, no need to ask God. Whatever you are destined to get, you will get it. No need to pray for that. I want this, I want that. No need to ask. Because even if you don't pray, you will get that. That's why, you know, people sometimes in the Western world, they are not going to temple or church, but they are also affluent. Because whatever is in your destiny, whatever is in your quota, you will get it. That time you can release that one, whatever you get. Whether it may be beauty or maybe education or maybe wealth, anything. In Krishna consciousness, there are people, lot of people who are wealthy also. They never pray to Krishna that they have to become wealthy. So whatever is in our destiny, you are going to achieve it. So then why we have to go only to the Lord for Dharma, Artha, Kama? No need. Just we need to go to the Lord to pray that please give an opportunity for me to be in the right path and to serve you always. Mama Janmani Janmani Ishware Bhavatat Bhaktir Haituki Tvai. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says in Shishtastakam, no, birth after birth, I want to serve you. I don't want anything else. That is the ideal prayer when we go to the temple. Such persons are killing themselves by willingly keeping themselves in the cycle of birth and death. So if you are going for temple 3 times a day, but you are going for the purpose of Dharma, Artha, Kama, then still you will be in the cycle of birth and death. We cannot be liberated because if you want to be liberated, then we have to actually come to devotional platform, which means service to the Lord. Devotional means you have to serve the Lord. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Mandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atman. In any of this process, you are hearing about the Lord, speaking about the Lord, Pada Sevanam, Archanam, it's all service to the Lord. So those people who are just only hankering for sense gratification, they cannot be interested in Krishna consciousness. So this is also said now, who will not be interested in Krishna consciousness, and from whom we should hear Krishna Katha, that is also proper mentioned. So we can go to the next paragraph.
Yeah. Hare Krishna, who want to read? Somebody want to read?
If there is no one, I will read, Prabhu.
Okay, I will read.
Yeah, Mataji, please.
Okay, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. For Krishna, for Krishna Katha, topics about Krishna consciousness, there must be a speaker and a hearer, both of whom can be interested in Krishna consciousness if they are no longer interested in material topics. One can actually see how this attitude automatically develops in persons who are Krishna conscious. Although the devotees of the Krishna consciousness movement are quite young men, they no longer read materialistic newspapers, magazines, and so on, for they are no longer interested in such topics. They completely give up the bodily understanding of life. For topics concerning Uttama Sloka, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the spiritual master speaks and the disciples hears with attention. Unless both of them are free from material desires, they cannot be interested in topics of Krishna consciousness. The spiritual master and disciple do not need to understand anything more than Krishna, because simply by understanding Krishna and talking about Krishna, one becomes perfectly learned person. Yasmin Vijñet Sarvam Evam Vijnana Tam Bhavati. Mundaka Upanishad 1.3. The Lord sits within everyone's heart, and by the grace of the Lord, the devotee receives instruction directly from the Lord himself, who says in Bhagavad Gita 15.15, Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishto matta smridirjnanam abohanam cha vedescha sarvairahameva vedyo vedanta veda videva chaham. I am seated in everyone. Continue this one, this paragraph.
Yes, Mataji.
I am seated in everyone's heart, and from me come remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. By all the Vedas, I am to be known. Indeed, I am the compiler of Vedanta, and I am the knower of the Vedas. Krishna consciousness is so exalted that one who is perfectly situated in Krishna consciousness under the direction of the spiritual master is fully satisfied by reading Krishna Katha as found in Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, and similarly Vedic literatures. Since merely talking about Krishna is so pleasing, we can simply imagine how pleasing it is to render service to Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Continue, Mataji. We'll finish.
Continue?
That. Yeah.
Yeah, one more paragraph only. Okay, Prabhuji, thank you. When discourses on Krishna Katha take place between liberated spiritual master and his disciple, the others also sometimes take advantage of hearing these topics and also benefit. These topics are the medicine to stop the repetition of birth and death. The cycle of repeated birth and death by which one takes on different bodies again and again is called bhava or bhava roga. If anyone willingly or unwittingly hears Krishna Katha, his bhavaroga, the disease of birth and death, will certainly stop. Therefore, Krishna Katha is called Bhava Oshadha, the remedy to stop the repetition of birth and death. Karmis or persons attached to material sense enjoyment generally cannot give up their material desires. But Krishna Katha is such a potent medicine that if one is induced to hear Krishna Kirtana, he will certainly be freed from this disease. A practical example is Dhruva Maharaja.
Maharaja, who at the end of his tapasya was fully and satisfied. Krishna Mataji, not audible?
Addiction for material sense gratification. We actually see that even young boys and girls in the Krishna consciousness movement have given up their long practice of bad habits like illicit sex, meat eating, intoxication, and gambling, because Krishna consciousness is so potent that it gives them full satisfaction. They are no longer interested in material sense gratification. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
So, very again wonderful. Prabhupada is continuing here. We can see any Krishna Katha means, so like we are all assembled, there should be a speaker, there should be here, two parties should be involved. So it's like we say Bhagavan Bhakti also, two people should be there, two personalities. Like one should be the Bhakta, one should be Bhagavan. In between connecting is Bhakti. Like that for Krishna Katha, there should be a speaker and there should be a hearer.
Yeah.
So both should be like the speaker should be liberated person, pure devotee of the Lord, and the hearer also should be very much enthusiastic. So here we can see if when that combination is there, that is the ultimate. The spiritual master and disciple do not need to understand anything more than Krishna, because just by understanding Krishna and talking about Krishna, one becomes perfectly an adult person. Best example is Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada even challenged the scientist. Yasmit vijnate sarvam evam vijnatvam bhavati. Upanishad. So we can see that how Prabhupada argued with the scientists. The scientists, they are from PhD. And they are studying big university like Harvard University or like that. And one of the Prabhupada disciple is Grace, His Holiness Bhakti Swarup Damodar Maharaj. He was a PhD in America. And he became a disciple because Prabhupada argued him about life comes from life. Can you prove that life came from chemicals? You are studying chemistry. So he accepted the defeat and he became Prabhupada disciple. So this is very practical that whoever knows about the science of Krishna, he becomes the learned person. How he becomes a learned person? Prabhupada quotes a sloka 15.15. Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishto matta smritir jnanam apohanam cha vedescha sarver ahame vedyu vedantakrit vedavit eya chaham. Because Krishna is situated in everybody's heart. That's why we call Krishna as Paramatma. We never address any other Lord as Paramatma. Only Krishna is addressed as Paramatma, means he's sitting inside the heart along with our Atma. So he is giving us the remembrance. He's also giving the knowledge. He's also giving forgetfulness. So whatever is to be known, that Krishna will reveal at that time. So he's fully satisfied by reading Krishna Katha as found in Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad. So merely talking about Krishna is so pleasing. Only by talking about Krishna is pleasing. So what about service, rendering service to Krishna? Prabhupada is putting this statement here. So here we can understand the benefit of hearing Krishna Katha is actually that you will be stopping your cycle of birth and death. These topics are the medicine to stop the repetition of birth and death. So we are repeatedly Punarapi Jananam, Punarapi Maranam, Punarapi Janani, Jatare Sayanam. We are repeatedly taking this bodies. Even though we may not remember our previous body, we were there. And we will be taking other bodies also. But if you want to stop, the solution is, I cannot go to any pharmacy, take a medicine and cure that cycle of birth and death. I cannot do any material medicines, cannot help. But the Krishna medicine, the Krishna consciousness, the Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, it will help us to stop the cycle of birth and death. So normally this repeated birth and death is called as Bhavaroga. Bhavaroga means who is taking different bodies and again and again. But this Bhavaroga, repeated disease of birth and death, will stop when you are hearing Krishna Katha. That is a medicine. Bhavav Shadav. Bhavav Shada means that remedy to stop the cycle of birth and death. And Prabhupada gives here, even if somebody is unwillingly hearing Krishna Katha. See, there are people who are interested in Krishna Katha. And sometimes there are maybe people not having so much inclination to hear, but unwillingly hear Krishna Katha. What will happen for them? For them also, actually, who are unwillingly hearing also, he will also stop the cycle of birth and death. For example, is Dhruva Maharaj. Prabhupada says, Dhruva Maharaj, when he went to meditate on the Lord, he was not very much interested for the Lord himself. He wanted to get a greater kingdom than his grandfather. That was his intention. But because he was praying to the Lord, then he became transformed. Swamin Kritartho Asmin Varam Nayache. Dhruva Maharaj later, when the Lord appeared, asked, take what you want. Dhruva Maharaj said, no, it is my mistake. I don't want anything. I don't want any benediction from you. I am fully satisfied. This word. Swamin Kritartho Asmi Varam Nayache. Now means I don't want any benediction. Material sense gratification. So that is on the scripture. Prabhupada quotes on his own practical experience that even young boys and girls in Krishna consciousness movement, they have given up their long practice of bad habits like illicit sex, meat eating, intoxication, and gambling. We know that Prabhupada disciples, many of them were addicted to bad habits, and many were into drugs, meat eating, and all those things. But after meeting Prabhupada, after chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, after hearing Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, they all left everything. They become a pure Vaishnavas. Why? Because Krishna consciousness is so potent, it is so powerful that it gives them full satisfaction. So when we are satisfied internally, we will not look for satisfaction outside. This is a secret. If somebody is happy, peaceful inside, he will ensure peace outside. If somebody is happy inside, he will actually give happiness to others. We can give to others only what we have. If I have 100 rupees, then only I can give 10 rupees. So if I am not happy myself, I cannot give happiness to others. So when somebody is in Krishna consciousness, he feels that peace and happiness within himself. Machita, Matgata, Pranadana, and more things. Ramanti, Yogino, Anante, Sachidananda, Chidatmane. Ananta, the people, it said that who are actually releasing this Krishna consciousness, they are experiencing happiness within. So when they are happy, naturally they want to share it with others. So then they are no longer interested in material sense gratification. Param drishtva nivartate. So those who experience higher kind of happiness, they are not interested in lower kind of happiness. As Prabhupada said, a materialist is a person who is seeking happiness outside, but a spiritualist is a person who is seeking happiness inside. So there are two worlds basically. One is the outer world, which we are seeing by our physical eyes, and there is an internal world within us. When we make our internal world happy, strong, then the outer world will not disturb us. But if our internal world is weak, then we are disturbed by everything which is happening external to us. So both are hankering for happiness. The materialists are hankering happiness outside themselves, whereas the spiritual people, they are experiencing happiness within themselves by serving the Lord. So that is the science of Krishna consciousness. That the person who is practicing Krishna consciousness sincerely, he is actually experiencing happiness within himself. Because without happiness, we cannot sustain dry. If we live material life and in Krishna consciousness also, we are not experiencing any kind of satisfaction, again we will fall back to the material life. Unless we experience something better quality, we cannot live the inferior quality. So till that time, you have to be very strong to experience that happiness, the genuine happiness from within ourselves, inside. Then we can actually give up this material sense gratification very, very easily once we experience a higher enjoyment. Hare Krishna. So it's a very big purport. I think
Yes,
lot
Guruji. Very big
of
purpose, Guruji. Wonderful. Each
Yeah.
sentence is fantastic, Guruji. You have to.
you are relishing.
Yes.
Yes.
Very, very much. And that also, Guruji, thank you, Guruji, for
Hare
wonderfully
Krishna.
to this thing. Thank you very
So
much.
Krishna Katha is
Exactly
called as
here.
nectar,
Yes.
medicine, Aushadam,
Medicine.
right?
Yes.
It is a cure for our repeated cycle of birth and death.
Birth
And
and
one
death.
good thing is there, Prabhupada saying that even if you are unwillingly hearing, like we also read from Bhagavatam, somebody chants jokingly Hare Krishna mantra, still you will get benefit. Jokingly or mockingly, like that, even, see, sometimes maybe we will not have so much inclination. Not everybody will have inclination to hear Krishna Katha. But Prabhupada is giving that hope. Even if you unwillingly hear the purport,
Yes.
that
Yes.
also will act on your talk
Beneficial.
too. So whether we like to hear or not like to hear, still we have to hear. So that will actually cure our Bhavaroga, the disease of birth and death. So that is a hope for us. So maybe somebody may feel, oh, I am not having so much, taste for hearing Krishna Katha. Still, no. If we hear, it will work.
Listen and
Same like
listen.
medicine.
Yes.
Yeah. Medicine, you do not know how it is working. But if you take the medicine, your fever is gone. You are cured from the disease. Like that, this is a medicine. So this verse itself telling it's a medicine only, nectar medicine. Medicine is normally not nectar, but Krishna Katha is nectar medicine. It is very sweet. At the same time, it will also cure. So that is there. A very wonderful purport by Srila Prabhupada.
Wonderful.
Giving hope for everybody. Giving
Each
hope for
sentence
everybody.
is a medicine, Guruji.
Yes. And also we understood that understanding God is very simple, because just accept that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As from the Guru Sadhu and Sastra, Prabhupada mentioned in the first paragraph. Just accept. It's not complicated, not difficult. We are looking for God, and here God is telling that I am God. Just accept. That's all. Your problem is solved. But if you do research, no, I will not accept this, I will not accept how. So Prabhupada, when people are arguing about why you are saying Krishna is Supreme Lord, Prabhupada said, see, I am saying based on Guru, Sadhu, Sastra and my own realization. Now, you have all the rights to refuse it. But if you cannot accept Krishna as Supreme Lord, then tell me who is God with evidence. You would explain me, then let me see whether your stance is correct or not. If you do not know, then how can you say Krishna is not? Then Then they will say, Swamiji, that we do not know. So Prabhupada used to answer, if you do not know, then how can you say that Krishna is not God, Supreme Lord? So our job becomes very easy because we are taking the descending process. We just accept Guru Sadhu Sastra, where Krishna reveals that Matta Bharataram Nanet Kinchi Dasti Dhananjaya. There is no truth superior to me. Just accept that Am Sarvasya Prabhu, everything comes from me. Our job is completed. Yes,
Krishna.
our job is completed.
Yeah.
That is a question of absolute faith. Prabhupada had that faith. Following in the footsteps of Prabhupada, we also should cultivate that kind of faith towards Krishna. Hare Krishna. So, any
Hare
questions,
Krishna.
any
Hare
comments
Krishna.
to add?
Anything to add?
Also,
Sadhananda
yeah,
Prabhuji,
yeah.
anybody? Wonderful. Swaraji, sorry, we took your 10 minutes precious time from.
No, nothing like that. Actually, Rasamya Mataji also arranged one journey of self-discovery class for devotees in UAE. So today we are starting this journey of self-discovery. Like it's a Bhagavad Gita class, 6 sessions Bhagavad Gita class. So we'll share the invitation. I think India it will be little late.
I shared 2-3 groups. I shared already, Guruji.
Yes, but India will be little late because it's late night. But still, if you want, we'll share the recording.
Yeah. Please record, Guruji, so that
yes, we'll share the recording.
Get time, we can also. Maybe we are on other class also, so we'll not.
Yeah, that's why. So,
Yeah.
yes, correct.
7 o'clock, right? Today evening, right, Prabhu?
Yes, Mataji. But for people in India, devotees may be difficult because 7 means India already 9:30 that time.
Oh,
so,
okay.
yeah. But we'll.
So I can share here also, right, Prabhu?
Share.
What is it?
Yes,
Share
Mataji.
the link to here in Kuwait peoples also, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, online class only, Mataji. It's free to.
Okay.
Sharp 7 p.m. we'll start the class.
Oh.
Mataji will be there, no? The same
So
Mataji
this is
will
the
be there,
first
right?
class, right?
Mataji is there.
Yes,
Yeah,
Guruji.
today is the
Yes,
first class.
definitely.
Yeah, Saturday. Yeah,
Today is
Saturday.
first class, Mataji.
First class. We'll go for 6 sessions every
So
Saturday.
every Saturday,
6
7 o'clock, right, Prabhu?
Every Saturday.
Yes, Mataji.
Till May 30th, Mataji. Yeah.
Till May 30th. Oh.
Hari.
So we can complete before the school close and everybody travels.
Also, annual vacation.
Yes, Guruji. We can complete before that.
Airport also